Speaking about individual documents, what is the main function of this translation? As far as I could understand from my experience, translation of individual documents is of great importance for the people's mobility, their life abroad, their plans for work, for studies, and so on. Why I might sound a bit, I don't know, too solemn or too serious about that, but it is really so. Of course, sometimes these translations are not even considered, at some embassies and so on. They just check if there is a translation of this or that document and move on and don't pay attention to what is really, it is contained in the document. But as far as I know and remember from my experience, there were so many cases when people suffered from bad translations of their diploma certificates and the translation of different kinds of disciplines they studied. For example, look at the slide number 3, please. I divide, and probably not me, only me, along of translators divide individual documents into, so to say, short and long. Short are usually standardized documents that contain 1 page and minimum text. Long documents contain 2 and more pages and maximum text, and they can be both individual and corporate documents used for individuals and so on. What is similar between 2 types? It is that both of them have details fixed on the same positions on the page, which need to be placed in the same way in translation. There are also set phrases, certain terminology, and we find there also names of people, places, companies, and institutions. Speaking about short documents, standardized documents, now that we have to deal with, they are about personal ID, so identification documents, which are passports, ID cards, driving licenses. There are also certificates, birth certificate, marriage, death, diploma certificate, and other types. And reference documents. Reference is probably not the best way to put it, but it is shorter. So reference documents, they are довідки, which we don't usually translate as in any way in the document itself. So it is about employment, studies, medical documents and records, police clearance, and some others. Okay, here you can see свідоцтво про народження. First comes name. In which way we translate names? If we've got these entries, like here, прізвище, ім'я по батькові, we translate the entries and we put the surname, name, and patronymic as they go in the Ukrainian document. If we don't have these entries, we should change the order and put down Даниил Сергійович Єрмоленко. Otherwise, Yermolenko is considered to be the first name and Sergeyevich as the family name. Then comes the date. Date is usually, I highly recommend to translate it with the help of words when we put down the month. So the 8th of July, July in letters. Why? Because you know that there might be different system when the month comes first, and everything can be mixed up, and I know the cases when there was some confusion because of that. So I prefer to put it in full. Kyiv. Why I put it here? Because we don't write down the word misto. We don't write the city of Kyiv or Kyiv city, just Kyiv. And it is not a problem in such documents because there are entries. You can see that країна, держава, місто. Держава, we put down nation or state or country and Ukraine, and then comes city in small font and Kyiv, just one word. Okay. Usually any certificate, birth certificate or marriage certificate, they contain some information about the registration in the registry book at a certain number. And I would like you to pay attention to the order. So usually in legal translation, it is recommended to preserve the word order if it is possible, okay, and put everything in the same order as it comes in the source document. But here it would be really hard to preserve it in the same way and still for it to sound natural and understandable. So I've given you the formulation we use for in our documents, in our translations, and you are free to use it in your own translations or change it in some way. But again, I'll repeat myself that it's better to do it in the same way in all documents you translate for them to look similar. Okay. Then comes next highlighted thing, which is громадянин України. You might have seen how citizenship is fixed in the international passports of all countries, and it sounds like nationality. So I suggest that you use one of two variants, citizen of Ukraine or nationality, column Ukraine, which are both correct. Then comes the body, official authority, which issues these documents. Any document of this kind contains the name of this body, and we to both render its meaning correctly, render the names of districts and departments and the ministries, and for відділ реєстрації актів цивільного стану, I recommend Civil Registration Office, which is shorter, but still it performs the same function as відділ реєстрації актів цивільного стану, because it registers marriages, divorces, births, and deaths. And then comes the name of the district, usually the department or administration fixed in these documents contains the name of the district. District is rendered with the help of transliteration in nominative case, в називному відмінку. In full, Солом'янський. Then comes the name, the word district. Then comes управління юстиції. Управління is sometimes translated as department and sometimes as administration. I recommend to differentiate between відділ і управління and translate відділ as department and управління as administration. Person, okay, the title or position of the person who signed the documents of the type, and the name of the person, and signature. So we shouldn't forget about the word signature. Instead of the signature and handwriting on the document, we put down this word signature, and sometimes it is okay, the word signed is used, but I prefer signature as a noun because it renders what we try to reflect. And also it is good to use slashes to put it here. Okay, and also one more thing, the seal. So don't please mix up seals and stamps, because seal is pechatka, stamp is stamp. They are different. Usually seals are round. In our country they are only round, or you cannot find any other shape. In other countries they can be oval, and in this case I omit the word round and just put seal. And we should put down everything found on the seal, either from the outer circle to the inner circle or vice versa, but everything written on the seal is important to put down, including the identification number, which is not found on this document, but most of the organizations and companies now have this identification code, and it is important to put it there. Okay, and in the end, serial number. Usually the question arises what to do with Latin font and Cyrillics. I should tell you the following. If I translate these documents and then print them out and thread and seal them and so on, I usually leave it as it is in Cyrillics. Usually, also there is another variant. When you send the translation via email or any other means, it is possible to save the document as PDF, and then this way of putting Cyrillics will be good.